What's up, Infected, and welcome to the Quarantine. Today I'm taking a look at a Kickstarter game by the name of Greedy Claw. Now, Greedy Claw plays 2 to 4 players, plays in about 20 to 40 minutes, and is recommended for ages 12 and up. Now, if you like what you see here in this video, I'll have a link right up here and down in the description as well that'll take you directly to the Kickstarter when that's up, and it'll have way more information than I could possibly cover in a video like this. Alright, so what is Greedy Claw? Well, Greedy Claw is a board game emulation of a claw machine. You know, those things that are a total ripoff in arcades. Put $1 in and you get a really loose claw that goes over and kind of grabs onto something, but it's never tight enough to actually grab what you're going for. And then occasionally you might win something that you spent $5 on and, you know, it's only worth like 50 cents. And that's basically what this game represents, but it's done with a dice rolling mechanic. So let's just dive straight over to how the game is played, shall we? Alright, as usual, this is a review, it is not a tutorial, so I will not be covering most of the rules in the game, but I will be giving you a basic idea of how the game is played so you can determine whether or not this Kickstarter is right for you. The other thing being is, of course, this is a prototype copy of the game, so what you see here is not the final copy of what you would get in the mail, and it is subject to, of course, change. Now, the point of Greedy Claw is each character is going to get a secret little symbol here with a list of toys on it, and you get bonus points at the end of the round for collecting toys of a similar symbol, and then you have a reference of what they look like here. The toys on the actual field have how much grip they cost, the symbol associated with them, how much they're worth, and then some of them have wing it symbols. So what's going to happen on your turn is the players will be competing back and forth to try to collect as many of the toys as they can and have the most money at the end of the game. Now, this is done by rolling these dice, and you have grip, and then you have movement. So what you're going to do is after you've rolled your dice here, you will spend up to 2 dice, well, minimum 2 dice, and then you can re-roll. So you would spend these in movement. So if my claw is here, I can put this here, and you'd move orthogonal, so 1, 2, 3, and then maybe one more here, and I move here. However, you're not allowed to move, the reason why you put the dice is you're not allowed to move back over a lane that you've moved. So, for example, if I moved up 2, I can't now move right 2 because I've already went down that. So I would have to move left 2. However, after you've spent at least 2 of your dice, you are allowed to re-roll and then continue to spend dice. However, you have to spend all of the dice that you have rolled total to be able to finish your turn out. Even if that means this, let's say I'm on this toy here, it requires only 4 grip, and here I have rolled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 grip. I can spend all of this to thus pick this toy up, and that ends my turn. But there's a couple special tiles, which are the wing it tiles. If you ever pick up a wing it tile, all of the dice that you have given or that you have allocated to grip, you then give to your opponent, and then you re-roll and basically take another turn with just the dice that you used for movement. So you don't want to allocate a whole lot to a wing it tile, but you do want to chain those together, and in theory you can get a total of 6. Once you've spent all of your dice, then you will give all of them to your opponent will take a turn. There are a few other interesting things with the game where if you take a wing it tile and then your next roundabout of rolling some dice, you aren't able to pick anything up, you lose all of the toys that you thus picked up. The game is going to go back and forth until you've reached a predetermined amount of points, and at that point you will add up any multipliers or any bonuses you may get, and whoever has the most points wins. So that's basically how you play Greedy Claw. So let's just go straight over to the final thought, shall we? Alright, well, when I was first offered to do a review for Greedy Claw, I was pretty psyched because I'm pretty sure my wife is some kind of wizard and maybe sold her soul to Satan to actually be decent at claw machines. My wife was one of the only people that I've ever known that can actually win most of the time at claw machines, and it's insane. So I was pretty stoked to get this to the table because I figured it might be something she would really enjoy because she likes claw machines. So we sat down and we played, and we had a blast. It's not a great game by any stretch of the words, but it is a very enjoyable game, and it actually has, for the amount of luck that's involved, it has a decent amount of strategy involved as well, where you're not allowed to move over where you've moved, and you got to kind of push your luck. And then the fact that after you've spent 2 dice, you can re-roll all your dice. So you can spend 2 dice and then re-roll, and then, okay, spend these 2, and then, okay, let's just hope this last roll gives me what I need. But then now you wind up landing on a negative points token, and you have to take it. You have to attempt to pick up whatever you end your turn on. And so there's a good little mix between strategy and luck. And then once you reach the end game, a lot of the time, in my experience, whoever triggered the end game generally has not won, because they're maybe rushing out of the gates trying to end the game as soon as possible, and not strategically, okay, I need to try to get this toy and this multiplier and this case, and this is a rare thing, and so on and so forth. And it's a really cool little game. I highly recommend Greedy Claw. It's a lot of fun. The game's great for kids. It's super light. The dice, they're a little big, but it's just dice rolling. So I mean, who doesn't like rolling dice? Anyways, that is my review for Greedy Claw. It's a good little game. I definitely recommend picking it up. Again, I'll have a link to it up there in the description. But if you like my channel and like to support it, I also have a link up there to my Patreon. Any little bit of support would definitely help, and I would appreciate it. If you leave a comment, I make sure I read all my comments. If you're new here, click that subscribe button. Make sure you like this video, and I'll see you guys next time in the quarantine.